Just arrived in Rome, 17 degrees, hardly a cloud in the sky. I think the weather tomorrow is due to be half decent as well. So the travelling Irish support, I heard there's 14 planes coming in from Dublin today, averaging 200 people a plane. So, you've 2,500 fans coming over today, probably half that again tomorrow before the match. So you're talking 3,000 fans coming over here to support Ireland. And then obviously the Irish contingent that are maybe living or around the outskirts of Rome. So it's absolutely buzzing. I'm staying in the Westin Hotel here where the Irish rugby team are staying. So hopefully bump into a few of the guys tonight hovering around the hotel. Get a couple of chit chats, see what the mood and the feelings like amongst the boys. But of course, it's going to be confidence, isn't it? They're absolutely flying. They're playing an Italian side that ultimately have lost 2 out of 2, and as much courage that they've shown in the last couple of weeks, they still haven't got a Six Nations win, and obviously Ireland have got off to a flying start. So the bookmakers have it. I think it's a 23-point handicap in the margin. And anybody you speak to over here, Donny, it's it's far too generous. That's far too generous, especially with all the changes. Johnny Sexton's out. Stuart McCluskey's having to come in last minute for Gary Ringrose. Jimmy O'Brien now finds himself on the bench. Craig Casey's starting. Tyke Burns not playing. Jack Conan's getting a run at number 8. Is there too many changes that might make them trip up a little bit? I'm not so sure. I honestly have this feeling and buzz that Ireland are going to win by 20 points or more tomorrow. That's what it kind of feels like for me. Although I think it's just the typical Irish fans, isn't it? Just cautious, always go, oh, we don't know. Well, hold on. We've won 22 out of 23 games against Italy. We last lost them in 2013 when we had a raft of injuries. They haven't won a home game in the Six Nations. So why is it going to change tomorrow? I don't think it is going to change. I think that Ireland have been very good at dealing with the pressure anyway. When you have that target on your back as the best team in the world and everybody's trying to knock you off top spot, there's pressure getting into any game, and it doesn't matter if it's against the French in the second round or it's against the Italians who are further down the world rankings. Away from home, I think every international now has a significant amount of pressure, and it seems to be whoever takes the pitch. It doesn't really affect them that well. I had a really interesting conversation on the plane on the way over, Donny, and it was about the way Andy Farrell emotionally gets his players up for games. So like at the start of week 2, they brought in David Irwin, Brian O'Driscoll, talking about the shoulder-to-shoulder documentary, talking about what it meant to play for Ireland. David Irwin was talking about getting caught up in the bomb blast on his way down to Irish training and how much it meant to him to represent the country. And him being from the north of Ireland. And I think that struck a chord with lots of fans, but also the players themselves. And I know there's been a little bit about it in the media, but playing the way over, we were chatting, and it almost feels like Andy Farrell is very good at getting his team emotionally charged, but to the right level, not overdoing it, where guys are, has an effect on their performance negatively. So he's just very good at pulling different angles to make sure that when the team go out onto the pitch that they're ready to explode. And history tells us that Ireland are a very good first half team. They play very, very well in the first half and usually blow teams away. And I think if Ireland can get a couple of scores up tomorrow early in this match, then they're a bit of a train with no station at the minute. And I don't think Rome's going to be its final stop tomorrow. The rumours coming out of Toulouse, of Henderson maybe heading over there. I can completely see that and understand that, because Toulouse have got a really good side, but the second row is an area where if they lose one of their main guys, that they have to drop down the pecking order a little bit. And would it be a good move for him? I think he turned 31 earlier on this week. He's not playing as much rugby for Ulster as he would like. He's the club captain and has been for a couple of years. He's a British and Irish Lion. Is he going to go on another Lions tour? Probably not, is the reality of it. After this Rugby World Cup, is he going to go on another Rugby World Cup? Probably not. So if he's going to make a move, and a move that's probably financially driven as well, it's going to have to be after this Rugby World Cup. It's going to have to be at the end of this contract for Ulster, because if he signs another 2-year deal, he's going to be a 33, 34-year-old lock. who is probably going to pick up more injuries, have a few more miles on the clock, and won't be as desirable for some teams. So for me, yeah, it's a strong possibility that he could move. He has a young family. No kids are starting school. It's a pretty consistent thing, Donny, with players. We've all heard of the likes of Rory Best, Andrew Trimble, Tommy Bowe, moving away at the end of their career, and they didn't, because of family and having that support group around you. And I think Hendy is, I don't know him really well, but obviously was in the change room with him for a couple of seasons. He strikes me a bit more of a home bird. However, money does talk, and I'm sure if he went out there, he'd be very well paid, and he'd maybe get himself a couple of nannies that look after the youngsters when he's out training. But here, if he makes the move, fair play to him, and that's what I say to anybody that's coming towards the latter part of their career. If they're given an opportunity, give it a shot. Different lifestyle. Here we are in Rome, 17 degrees, and it's not even March yet. Like, in feel good factor you have of stepping out into the fresh air, and a bit of heating in the air as well is awesome. So we'll wait and see the space. If it's going to be a decision made on this contract of Iain Henderson, I think it'll probably be in the next month. I don't think they'll let this settle for another 2 or 3 months. I'd be fairly confident that he'd re-sign with Ireland. Another year extension, maybe like Peter O'Mahony, or maybe another 2-year deal. We'll wait and see, but I would be fairly confident that the RFU will try and hold on to one of their biggest assets. I haven't had a check at the odds, but I think I put on my blog this week for Ladbrokes that I fancy Ireland like between 20 and 30 points. So that's on the handicap line. 23 points is the handicap. If they don't make that, there's a couple of points difference. So I'm assuming you probably get that at around 2-1, something like that, maybe. If you wanted to go even sneakier, you could go between 20 and 25 points. It might be up to 4-1, 5-1, something like that. So yeah, it just feels like, I know they've got Capuzzo, Lamaro's back, Padovani's there in the wing. They've a half decent front row, but can they live with the pace and intensity of Ireland for 80 minutes? And it's not like Ireland are just bringing it for 20 minutes here or there. Like, the ball and play time against France is 47 or 48 minutes long. Like, no teams in the world can cope with that. And yeah, I just feel like Ireland are going to hopefully blow them away. So a lot of emphasis and pressure on Ross Byrne, Craig Casey to keep this juggernaut going.